Hello students, let's continue with the explanation. So the to and fro or back and forth motion of an object is termed as vibration, as you learned in class 7. So in class 7 you have already learned about oscillation, you have already learned about vibration. Okay. So when a tightly stretched band is plucked, it vibrates and produces sound. Okay, the activity which I asked you to perform. Just perform it and see. Okay, what do you get? When it stops vibrating, it does not produce any sound. So once the rubber band is plucked, so you ask one of your elders to just hold the rubber band, okay, stretching it tightly and holding it between the two ends tight, and you pluck it in the middle, and then you see that when it stops vibrating, can you hear the sound or not? No. Okay, so once it is vibrating, you will keep on hearing the sound. Once it stops vibrating, you will not hear any sound. Okay. Now activities 13.4 and 13.3 are not required because these are the same kind of activities and I am not stretching it more. Okay, so if you want you can read it in your textbook, okay, but it will not come for your exam. So we see that a vibrating object produces sound. In some cases the vibrations are easily visible to us. In some cases you can easily see that the body is vibrating, like plucking the rubber band. So when you pluck the rubber band, easily you can see the rubber band is moving or the rubber band is vibrating. So but in most cases their amplitude is so small that we cannot see them, however we can feel them. Amplitude means the vibration, okay, the prominence vibration. I'll tell you what is amplitude in the next slide. That it is so small that you cannot see them, okay. But when you touch it with your hand, you can feel that yes, the body is vibrating. But when you want to see it, you cannot see it, okay, because it is very, very small. Yeah. Now what is amplitude? You see here. Amplitude, see, it's not required at this level. You will study it in higher classes. In classes 9 and 10 in physics you will study. But still, let me explain it to you a little bit. So amplitude in physics is the maximum displacement or distance moved by a point on a vibrating body or a wave measured from its equilibrium position. Okay, so now see, this is a graph, okay, this is the time and this is the distance, suppose. Now this is the equilibrium position, the middle line. Now what is equilibrium position? When the body is not vibrating, it is at rest. Okay, it will stay in one position, that is called the equilibrium position or the position of rest. Okay, so now this middle line, it is the equilibrium position. So when the body will vibrate, what it will do? It will move like this and move like this, isn't it? To and fro. Suppose this is the rubber band, you have plucked it from the middle. So once you have plucked the rubber band from the middle, it will move like this, like this, like this, like this, like this, like this, yes or no? So it will keep on moving about the equilibrium or about the mean position. As I already explained in class 7, what is oscillation? Oscillation or vibration means to and fro movement about the mean position, or you can say equilibrium position. So now when you see like this, it is a kind of a wave produced, isn't it? The vibration is a kind of a wave produced. Now what is amplitude? Amplitude is the maximum distance a vibrating body can move from its mean position. Suppose this is the equilibrium position. From here, the vibrating body can move up till here and then it will go down like this, down, up, down, like this. Now, from the mean position to the maximum distance covered, this is the amplitude. If you see amplitude down also from the mean position, the maximum distance covered, this is the amplitude. That means this whole thing is not the amplitude. Amplitude is the half. Half means from the equilibrium position to the maximum displacement or the maximum distance that the body moves. Okay, so this part is the amplitude. Now suppose this is the rubber band. Think this is the rubber band. You have plucked it from the middle. So if the rubber band moves, you have plucked it very hard, okay, and it moves a great distance or it moves a great displacement, you can see the vibration. Yes or no? But if you pluck it very lightly and it is moving just here, suppose, okay, this is the part where it is moving, can you see? You cannot see. Okay, so if the amplitude is more, you can see the vibration, but if the amplitude is less, you cannot see the vibration. Am I clear? Amplitude is the distance covered by the vibrating body. So when you pluck the rubber band, if the distance covered by the rubber band is more, you can easily see the rubber band vibrating, yes. But if the distance covered by the vibration, the rubber band is very less, suppose it is moving like this, can you see? You cannot see. Okay, but you can feel it. If you touch the rubber band, you can feel it. Okay, so it is equal to 1/2 the length of the vibrating path. Now this is the vibrating path. Okay, suppose this is the mean position or equilibrium position of the rubber band. You have plugged the rubber band, it is moving like this. So this is the vibrating path, up, down, it is moving. It is creating a wave. Amplitude is the half of the length of the vibrating path. This is the length, this is the whole length. From here to here is the length. But amplitude is not the entire length, it is the half. Okay, so it can be half here also, it can be here also. Anywhere, but it is the half. Okay, so just understand it simply, no need to go into details. I just gave you a brief idea, but we will study amplitude later in the higher classes. Okay, alright. So many of you might have seen the Manjira symbols. So this is the Manjira. Okay, Manjira you must have seen in pujas and all. Okay, in Bihu also you must have seen Manjiras. Okay, the Ghatam and the Noot, mud pots and the Kartal. Okay, so this is the Ghatam. Okay, Noot are small mud pots which are used as a musical instrument. Okay, and Kartal is also a kind of a musical instrument. So these instruments are commonly used in many parts of our country. These are simply beaten or struck. So these are the instruments that are used locally. Okay, like this Manjiras you must have seen in Bihus, in pujas and all, it is used. Okay, and a sound is produced. This is the Ghatam. It is used in classical music, especially in the south. Okay, in Karnataki music it is used. So how are the sound produced here? Just by beating. You have to beat the instruments and sound. One kind of sound will be produced. You will not get the sound that you get in case of a guitar or a harmonium. Okay, it is just you are beating it just to keep the beat. Okay, these instruments are used. Okay, these are used locally in many parts of the country. Okay. Now you have another activity 13.5. This is also not needed to write in copy. Take 6 to 8 metal bowls or tumblers, fill them with water up to different levels, increasing gradually from one end to another. Okay, so suppose you take glasses. Okay, suppose you take 6 glasses, and what do? You arrange them in one line. So starting from the first glass to the last glass, you fill it with water, but the levels of water should be in ascending order. Okay, suppose in the first glass you have filled just 2 inches of water. In the second glass you fill 4 inches, third glass you fill 5 inches, fourth glass 6 inches, that way. Okay, in the increasing level of water you need to fill the glasses with water. Now take a pencil and strike the bowls gently. So gently you strike the glasses with pencil, okay, in a continuous way. Strike all of them in succession, you will hear a pleasant sound. This is your Jal Tarang. Okay, so it is a Jal Tarang that you are making it manually at home. Okay, but Jal Tarang is used as a musical instrument in many parts of the country where you have glasses or bowls that are filled with water and they are used in songs. Okay, so that you can make at home and you can see with your own eyes what kind of sound is produced. So this is how you make a Jal Tarang. So can you see from the first glass to the last glass, the water levels are in increasing order and you need to strike them together in succession. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You strike them this way, or 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Strike them in the other way and you see what kind of sounds are produced. Okay, so this is your Jal Tarang. Okay. So when we plug the string of an instrument like the sitar, the sound that we hear is not that of a string. The whole instrument is forced to vibrate and it is the sound of the vibration of the instrument that we hear. Suppose forget the sitar, most of you play the guitar, so you know how to play the guitar. So when the guitar is played, is the sound produced only from the strings of the guitar? No. The sound is produced from the whole guitar. The whole guitar will vibrate to produce the sound. Okay, so it is the vibration of the entire instrument that we hear. Is it clear? Similarly, when we strike the membrane of a mridangam or tabla, okay, mridangam is the dhol that is used in bihus and all, you must have seen the dhol. So that is the mridangam, or it is also dhol and mridangam, they have a difference. So mridangam basically it is used in the south for Karnataki music. Okay, it is the shape is little different from a dhol, but it's like a dhol only. But forget the mridangam, you look at the tabla. So tabla, what does it have? It has a membrane on top. Okay, so when we strike the membrane of the tabla, the sound that we hear is not that of the membrane but the whole body of the instrument. So the sound that you hear out from the tabla, it is not just from the cover of the tabla, the membrane of the tabla, it is the sound from the entire tabla that comes out. Okay, am I clear? So with this we end the explanation for today. So we'll continue with the explanation in the next class. Thank you all of you and have a nice day.